Am I so high? That's a little better. Hello? Today's video is a vlog. So, I don't know why when I know that I'm filming a vlog, I feel like I don't have to be, hi guys! So, this is a vlog. I don't know if this is like an original idea or not, but I wanted to do something that I normally do, but I film it this time around. So, okay, if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, it is a predicting thrillers type of video, because when I read thrillers, okay, first of all, thrillers in general, you just know they're gonna have a plot twist, right? Am I right? I figured, why don't I share my theories for a thriller, or my hypothesis. I wanted to share my predictions for plot twists of some popular thrillers, because I didn't want to do some kind of like not as well known thrillers, because I want you guys to be able to watch this video. But I guess before I say anything else, spoilers all out the butt for the books Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough and The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Just letting you guys know, these will be the two books I read for this thriller prediction reading vlog, and I will be talking extensively about what goes on in them. I wanted to share my initial theories for the like big twist in them, because I can only imagine they have a twist. I mean, they should. For being thrillers, they should have a twist. I feel like I'm just hunching over because I don't have my camera on the normal tripod I do, because I really don't know why I don't, but I just don't, so I'm having to like hunch over. Anyway, so let's go with Behind Her Eyes first. So I'm gonna read out the summary to you guys and come at you with my initial like where this could maybe go. Because here's my plan. I'm gonna think of a theory just based off the summary and the blurbs. I want to go ahead and do like, you know, first impression plot twist guess. And then what I'm gonna do is read 100 pages of each book at a time. I'm not going to read them at the same time. I'm going to start with Behind Her Eyes and then read The Girl on the Train. I'm really hoping this doesn't take me more than a few days. Anyway, so once I read the first 100 pages, I will report back and put like on lockdown my final theory for where I think the book's going to go. Because I feel like you can really gather a lot within the first 100 pages of a thriller, depending on how long it is, because Behind Her Eyes is just over 300 pages, and The Girl on the Train is, I'm trying not to look at any words being said on the pages, and The Girl on the Train is at 323 pages, so I feel like 100 pages is more than enough to come up with some twist. So let's start with Behind Her Eyes. Here's the summary. Louise, a single mom and secretary, is deeply embarrassed when she discovers that the man who sweet-talked and kissed her in the bar on a rare night out is her new boss, David. And Adele, new to town and lonely, who invited Louise for coffee after they bumped into each other on the street. Adele is David's wife. From the outside, David and Adele look like a picture-perfect husband and wife, but then why is David so controlling, and why is Adele so scared? As Louise is drawn further into David and Adele's orbit, she uncovers more puzzling questions. The only thing that is crystal clear is that something in this marriage is very, very wrong, but Louise can't guess how wrong or how far a person might go to protect their marriage's secrets. I feel like just based off the summary, it sounds like your run-of-the-mill domestic thriller, marital problems. I'll be honest, I've read a review that said the plot twist is paranormal in nature, and I don't know how much of a like spoiler that is, but to me paranormal usually means things like demons and stuff. So if that's what's gonna happen in this book, I'm terrified for starters, but I have no idea because that is not at all made apparent based off the summary. So I think just based off the summary and reading some blurbs and the fact that the book is called Behind Her Eyes, which if you really want to get like physical with it, your brain is behind your eyes, and I think this is my base theory, so it's gonna be great to see if I'm at all wrong or close or how far off I am. I'm gonna love comparing this to the final result. But anyway, I think that Louise is imagining David and Adele. I also have read the first page of this book, and I'll read it for you because it's really short. It says, pinch myself and say, I am awake once an hour. Look at my hands, count my fingers, look at clock or watch, look away, look back, stay calm and focused, think of a door. So clearly she's got some like mental issues, okay? So I'm thinking that Adele and David don't exist. But that's gonna be my big twist, and that's my initial thoughts. It could change after the first 100 pages. I will read the first 100 pages of Behind Her Eyes, get back to you to see if my theory changes at all, or if I would still keep that one. And then of course I'll finish reading it. We'll talk about the big twist, because apparently it's a twist that people either hate or really like. And then when I'm done reading Behind Her Eyes, we'll get to The Girl on the Train. Okay guys, it is currently the next day. Sorry, I went to Target with my mom last night and we spent a little bit too much time in there getting things we don't need. I got new sheets for my bed. I'm really excited to put those on, probably later tonight, but it is now the evening of the next day. Today, for reference, I think it's Wednesday. Let me make sure. Yes, it is Wednesday, May 13th. And I have stopped at page 103 in, obviously, Behind Her Eyes. I know that I said I'd come with like my put it in writing, lock it down theory for the what I think is how this book's gonna go. I don't know what I'm doing with this video idea. It's not good because I don't have any theories. Okay, I do, but they're so outlandish and they're just so ridiculous that I know that they're not going to be what happens. So I guess that's just what's gonna make it fun when I do finish the book and I can talk about like how it compares. So I wanted to write down some things that I thought were relevant when we learned about them while reading the first 102 pages. And I only wrote down 3 things. But the first one is Adele's parents die in a house fire and she survived because David pulled her out. And if you don't know, but hopefully you do know, because if you haven't read the book then I'm spoiling it. Well, I'm spoiling the first 102 pages. But Adele and David are married now, and Louise is the single mom who has kind of a drunken night where she kisses David, who is married to Adele. So yeah, Adele, her parents died in a house fire, which is tragic. The second point I wrote down is that everyone but David, and then in brackets I put so far, has night terrors and sleepwalks, because we have started to get chapters from the past, which the chapters are labeled then, and it chronicles Adele as she's like 17 or 18 at this like retreat, but so far we don't know like who goes there. I guess it's just for like mentally unstable people, kids maybe. But while there she meets another boy named Rob who has night terrors. Louise, who I had no idea before starting this book, has night terrors, and it's incredibly scary, which leads me to my third point that I thought was relevant to write down, is that Adele, I can't remember what page because I didn't write down the page number, but I wrote Adele just mentioned lucid dreaming. Uh-oh. It's incredibly like freaky to me because a lot can go wrong, and there's like talks of demon possession and stuff like that. So I don't really like reading about it so much, and I think this entire book is gonna be about that. So Adele is now trying to get Louise to like practice this lucid dreaming. She tried it on Rob. We're still in the middle of how that's going, because Rob kind of thinks it's weird, because it kind of is. So I'm gonna share this really outlandish theory that I had while reading, and I guess we'll see. I feel like I can't know for sure who, but I feel like either David or Adele lucid dreamt the other one into existence as children, and so one of them is like from the imagination of the other. I want to say it's David who lucid dreamt Adele into being. There's also like this stint where Adele went to a treatment center when she was like 8 or 9 years old, and then she came back, and like David seems to not really talk about her after that point, like with Louise. So something makes me think something happened there. I definitely think someone set the fire on Adele's house because they live on that big estate. I feel like it might be Adele because she didn't have a great relationship with her parents. So I don't know though, because there's blurbs on here that say there's twists and turns, but then there's a lot of blurbs that talk about the ending, the final twist. I don't know what the final twist is gonna be. I'm just saying that I feel like one of them, if not Adele and David both, are from a lucid dream. Like, I feel like they're not real, but then like they have to be to make it make sense, because like if my theory is true, then it kind of is stupid. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. So that's my 100-page Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough update, and what I think might happen, might transpire, because clearly we're going to be leaning heavy into this lucid dreaming type of a plot. I love you too, David Martin, more than you'll ever know. What the? Alrighty, I finished Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. And I want to laugh at how stupid my theories, my predictions were. I'm shook. I am completely shook. I've never been this shaken up. I think the last time I was this like disturbed by the ending of a book was when I read Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas. I read that when I was like 18 years old, and it was like the first thriller book I'd ever read. And I mean, I haven't read a whole lot since then, but whoa. If you haven't read this book yet, you should definitely stop watching. As of this point, I will put a timestamp to where I start talking about the girl on the train right here, if you want to skip ahead to that. But yeah, I'm about to spoil it big time, so goodbye. Would have never guessed Rob. Would have never guessed it. Oh my gosh. Crazy. I mean, it was crazy enough what Adele did to Louise. But now I can't even say that because it was really what Rob did to Louise. I can't even. No, I was not right at all. I was not on the right track. I will say, I think the closest I got to the twist was around page 220. I made a note on my phone while I was reading it. I thought Rob might be David. Like, I thought it was Rob who was David, and really it was David who was dead at the bottom of the well. That was like the closest I got to thinking Rob was still in the picture. Never in a million years did I think that like through the second door they'd be able to like get into each other's bodies, and then let alone Rob being in love with David and then taking over Adele's body. Oh my gosh. So anyway, if you've read it, let me know if you were even close to coming to that conclusion. This is definitely a book that got me. I mean, of course, as you're reading a thriller and you know a twist is coming up, you're trying to outsmart the book. As you read, I'm just like, this is what's gonna happen. No, this is what's gonna happen. And even up until the point when Louise is going over to Adele's house, which of course the whole time you're like, what the frick, Louise? You know Adele is up to something. Rob is up to something. So why are you going over to her house? Like it was like a 2 or 3 page chapter, you know, when Louise thinks Adele's about to kill herself. I'm just like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? Louise is stupid. It's almost like Louise deserved it because she was so freaking stupid. But then, okay, but like the very ending, the very last lines, Rob talking, obviously in Louise's body, about killing off Adam, the 6-year-old little boy? Okay, that's a little bit too disturbing for me. I don't like the way that ended. Just those little sentences. I think though overall, I mean, granted, I can't recommend it now because if you're watching this, you've probably read it, or else if you're watching it and haven't read it, then you probably shouldn't plan on reading it now because that was the big twist. I think I would land it between like a 4 out of 5 because I thought it was written really well, and again, like there was no way I was gonna guess that ending. just no way. So yeah, I think it was a very, very smartly written thriller. You just never guess it, especially because like that second little chapter, just this number 2 later, it says he, so of course you think it's David. But you should have known. You should always know that it's that like kind of character that's there more so than other side characters but less than the main characters, because obviously the 3 prominent characters are David, Adele, and Louise. But then Rob was really the only other character we consistently saw throughout the story. So of course I always thought Rob is gonna come back to play somehow, some way, and that's when I was like, Rob is David. Because I remember like the first time Rob gets described, his physical description, it said that he has the same blue eyes as David, but Rob had dark hair and David had blonde hair, and I was like, well, maybe Rob just dyed his hair blonde. So like that thought crossed my mind, but then that theory got shot in the foot when Louise was looking at like the old newspaper reports of the fire, and when there was an old grainy photo of David 10 years after the fire that killed Adele's parents, and she saw the resemblance, then I was like, okay, well, Rob can't possibly be David. But I was really glad I was wrong, because yeah, that's a twist that, whoa, 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 whoa. Ugh, I feel sick a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I think that's a great thriller. As much as I find it disturbing, I really liked it, because I liked that I couldn't predict it. I did not predict it. It did not go well for me, so I was completely wrong. Adele did not lucid dream up David. Alright, so I'm going to move on now to talking about The Girl on the Train, the second let's predict the ending of a thriller. I wanted to do, a more like popular thriller, because I don't really know just how many people have read this. I mean, I think this thriller is fairly popular, but I don't really know. But I know this one is. It has a movie adaptation. On Goodreads, it has over 1 million ratings, which is a lot. I've heard kind of mixed things. The woman that used to do my hair back when I lived in Oklahoma read it and said she loved it, so we'll see. So let's read the summary together, shall we? I'm still thinking about that dang ending. Okay. There she sits, the girl on the train. What she sees gazing out the window will change everything. Every day the same. Rachel takes the same commuter train every morning and night. Every day she rattles down the track, flashes past a stretch of cozy suburban homes, and stops at the signal that allows her to daily watch the same couple breakfasting on their deck. She looks forward to it. She's even started to feel like she knows them. Jess and Jason, she calls them. Their life, as she sees it, is perfect. Not unlike the life she recently lost. Does this not sound like Louise looking in on Adele and David's life? Until today, and then she sees something shocking. It's only a minute until the train moves on, but it's enough. Now everything has changed. Unable to keep it to herself, Rachel goes to the police. But is she really as unreliable as they say? Soon she is deeply entangled not only in the investigation, but in the lives of everyone involved. Has she done more harm than good? Compulsively readable, The Girl on the Train is an emotionally immersive Hitchcockian thriller and an electrifying debut. So basically, I mean, I think the only plausible theory prediction I can come up from just the summary is that Rachel has been imagining Jess and Jason. Does that not sound exactly like the theory I thought this book was going to turn into, where Adele was imagining, no, Louise was imagining Adele and David? So I'm gonna stick with that theory for this one as of right now, and I know that I'm wrong. Oh man, I feel like even just this one thriller, I already want to read like just a happy contemporary book, but we're gonna power through and make it through this one and see how we feel after this one. So yeah, I'll update you guys once I've read the first 100 pages of The Girl on the Train, and hopefully I'll have a much better theory, plot twist prediction for that book. there go my glasses. My glasses are dirty. I don't know how to style my hair anymore. Ponytails are it. I just let my hair air dry nowadays. Clouds are everywhere outside, so my lighting's probably gonna shift around, but whatever. I just feel like I can be a little bit more lazier with my vlogs, clearly. Okay, full transparency, it's been a couple days since I finished The Girl on the Train. I knew I was gonna give a 100-page update, but when I got to around the 100-page point in this book, I just kind of kept reading because I didn't want to stop. I had a good momentum and I flew through this book. I think I actually finished this book a whole day faster than I finished Behind Her Eyes. This was a completely different experience than Behind Her Eyes was. Before I start talking specifically about the ending and, I mean, spoilers, I just, like, of course, if you don't want to know the spoilery parts of this book, then please click out of my video now because I'm just gonna keep talking spoilers. I'm sorry for those of you who don't like this part, who think that they can't watch it now, but I liked it, so if you want to read it, you should go read it. I definitely don't think I liked it as much as I liked Behind Her Eyes, but I did still enjoy it. The characters are unlikable, if that matters to you, but you know, it was still an enjoyable, fast-paced read. So, okay, I'm gonna talk really spoilery now. Goodbye to those of you who just can't hang. But I will see you in my wrap-up video where I probably won't do spoiler reviews since I'm kind of doing that in this entire vlog. Okay, The Girl on the Train. So around the page 100 mark, oh my gosh, I have my camera on the notebook where I wrote down my theory. Because I wrote my theory down, I just didn't film it. Okay, so my theory at the 100-page mark. So I always knew that Tom and Megan were having an affair. I never for a second thought that she was actually having an affair with her therapist, and it was confirmed, I think it was around page 130, where Kamal, her therapist, Megan's therapist. If you have no idea, Megan is the woman that goes missing. I always thought she was dead too. I never thought it was like a Gone Girl scenario where she was just gone. Anyway, moving on. So Kamal is Megan's therapist, Rachel is the unreliable drunk narrator we primarily get, and then Anna is Tom's current wife. Tom is Rachel's ex-husband, and so yeah, I always knew that it was Tom Megan was having an affair with because he was kind of the only guy she could have been having an affair with. I mean, I had a hunch Craig McKenzie would be a red herring, and he ended up being pretty much a red herring. I didn't quite yet though figure out who I thought murdered Megan, so at that time, at the page, I think it was like page 109 when I stopped, because that was after the first chapter that we got of Anna's perspective, which I did not even know we were gonna get her perspective. It kind of changed the game when she got introduced, because I was like, well, if she's in any way important, so will Tom be. And they live right down. So anyway, I thought it was either gonna be Anna or Rachel who murdered Megan. In Rachel's case, I thought it was because she was going to be blackout drunk and she would have mistaken Megan for Anna, and Rachel would have had cause to kill Anna for being the woman that her ex-husband cheated on her with. And then I thought it could have been Anna who killed Megan because of Megan and Tom's affair and Anna wanting to maintain this happy suburban family lifestyle she's cultivated for herself. But I think, man, when did my theory change? Because not too long afterwards, I was like, but Tom's suspicious. I never thought it was her therapist who killed her. I never thought it was Scott. But it's not like I was sure that it was Tom. I just like, to me, it was the one that was going to make the most sense. Although it would have been really cool if Anna had been the one to kill Megan, but she wasn't. She didn't know anything about it. I can't quite remember when I thought it was Tom, but I think it was shortly after when Kamal was talking about like the transference. I literally Googled what transference was because I didn't know what it meant in like psychology definition wise, so I Googled that and that kind of helped answer some things for me. So I was like, Megan's treating Kamal like a lover, but he's not her, so I was like, it's Tom and she's being kind of needy, so I'm thinking that he killed her. And then I think it was probably when it came out that Megan was pregnant when she died. I think that might have been, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm like blinding. My face is washed out. I think that might have been when I was like dead set on Tom being Megan's murderer. Oh my gosh, That's so much better. I'm sweating so bad right now. I don't know why. I'm out of breath. This is weird for me. Okay. So when Rachel was having her flashback, when she's in the underpass on the night of Megan's disappearance / murder, and she thinks she sees Anna walking back to the car with Tom, I never for a second believed it was Anna. I knew the whole time it was Megan walking back with Tom, but Rachel thought it was Anna, of course. And I only knew that because at some point in the first 100 pages of this book, I can't remember who said it, I can't remember why it was said, but whoever said it talked about how similar Megan and Anna looked. They apparently were both pale, blonde, pretty women. So that's why I'm like, okay, it was noted that they're easily confused. So yeah, when Rachel was sure it was Anna she was seeing in the blue dress in the underpass, I was like, oh yeah, no, that's Megan she's seeing with Tom. It's predictable. I obviously found it predictable. Completely different reading experience from Behind Her Eyes, which this one, I don't see how anyone could ever predict Behind Her Eyes, but if you did, let me know because you must be a much more well-read thriller reader than I am. I will say, because I didn't predict the twist or the ending to Behind Her Eyes, I thought I would be off of my game for The Girl on the Train. So I will say that when I was reading it, I was determined to call the twist. So at every turn in this book, I was like, that's not how it's gonna be. So yeah, I think it was around page 230 when there was a definite shift in the book where it immediately went from Scott could be the culprit, Scott could be Megan's murderer, to now we're only going to suspect Tom. So I knew that when it did that shift, I was like, I am right, dang it! And so as soon as I realized that I was gonna be right, I flew through the end. Even though like it wasn't surprising, it was still just a riveting story. Again, like I said, I didn't even want to stop to film a vlog update because I just wanted to keep reading. Of course, you know, halfway wanting my theory to be correct, which it was. I don't know, it's so validating to call a plot twist. If you guys enjoyed watching this very spoilery reading vlog, please let me know, because I would love to do another one of these. I kind of already have another video idea in mind, but this time I want to do classic mysteries. Like a few of the books I already know that I own that I'd read for it would be The Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, because I've already read And Then There Were None, which was a 5-star read for me. I would highly recommend. Loved it. I also have The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin that I haven't read, which I know that's like a middle grade, but it's like a lot like Clue. It would be classic mysteries. It would not be like modern day thrillers like this video was. I think I might want to do that if that's something you guys are interested in watching, just because, you know, they're classics, so more people will have read them, so that way I can talk about spoilers without fearing that you guys will have to skip over the whole video. So yeah, if you guys have read both of these books, let me know what you guys thought of the endings and just how they went. I mean, The Girl on the Train was such an interesting read for me solely because none of the characters were likable at all, and I don't think any of them had redeeming qualities, but I still enjoyed the book. I thought it was a solid thriller. Even though it was predictable, I loved flipping through it. Anyway, whatever, I'm moving on now. I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye. Ow, I'm so sorry. Okay, y'all, really? What am I?